Hi, my name is Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. You must be a part of my Manifest Destiny 2023 workshop. The last 4 years were absolutely amazing, and every year it got bigger and bigger as I impacted and touched more than 130,000 lives. With over 10,000 amazing testimonials over the last 4 years, this is something to grow on. This year is going to be the biggest and best year ever. All new science, all new quantum mechanics, all new metaphysics, all new manifesting techniques in a fully interactive online workshop that's going to blow your mind and set you and your family up for the rest of 2023. We have amazing guest speakers. We have the worldwide Tim Story. He's a life coach to the stars. He's an amazing teacher and a multi-times best-selling author on New York Times. We also have Elizabeth Hoekstra, another best-selling author, and her specialty is how to deal with the shadow work and the trauma, and how to clear your mind, and how to use modalities to clear your consciousness to help you get to higher levels. We also have Antonina coming on to teach trauma relief in a fully interactive trauma release class taught by a licensed person to help you release the trauma from your body. Trauma that's been impacted and stored in your body for a very long time. And I'm coming on to help teach all the manifesting techniques, the technology of the human body, how to access it, how to use it, how to fully utilize the laws of attraction to bend the matrix to your will and create the reality that you and your family deserve. Make sure you click the link ASAP in the caption of this video or in my bio and sign up on Eventbrite ASAP because space is limited. I want to see you there. Be ready for an explosive 2023. Peace.
All righty now. Truth seekers. Now you have it. You saw the picture of Bob Lazar, which is going to be so instrumental in what we're going to be talking about tonight. I want to welcome each and every one of you here, and we got a great show for you. If you didn't know about the new Whistleblowers Act, where we're going to get a lot of UFO stuff coming out in 2023, so it makes it very exciting for all of us in ufology, such as myself as a UFO investigator, and the news, and you as the person who are interested in UFOs. One of the things I want to point out before we get this show started, if you're a non-believer and you're saying, you know what, Roderick, I can care less about UFOs, well, I want you to know you should, because you're in on the game, whether you know it or not, because now that we have a new UFO office, I want to use the hashtag UFO taxes, baby, because it's coming out of your check. Every time you get paid, you're paying for the UFO knowledge, research, maybe the crazy stuff. You can laugh about it at the water coolers if you want, but you in on the game with the rest of us if you think it's all crazy. But in the meantime, truth seekers, let's get rolling, because we're going to have a good one for you here tonight. It is Tuesday night, and I'm going to welcome you to Forbidden Knowledge TV. I'm your host, Roderick Martin, and I host the Why the Big Secret YouTube channel and podcast, which actually has a channel of itself. But every Tuesday night, I'm right here for you to serve you. Now, how we're going to be doing that, first, I like to tell you these words. You could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, from all of us at Forbidden Knowledge TV, I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show is aired, and also a little background information. I'm located in that jumbo state. This is where those UFOs come out to play. It is a Texas thing, y'all. And with Texas, everything comes big. We're going to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, create captivating conversations that'll certainly cause controversy. Let's get this thing on the road, because we got a good one for you tonight. So, I hope your New Year's resolutions has been made. I hope you watched the workshop the other day where you're doing your 3, 6, 9 mental affirmations, because I am. Whatever it is, But I want to tell you, the UFO journey in 2023 is going to be crazy because of what we're going to discuss tonight. All right, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I got my notes together. I got everything in place so we can talk about it. And let me shut down this music so we can get rocking. So let me give a few acknowledgments real quick if I see anybody in the chat. What's going on? We got Gregory, I see you. We got the girl from the Bay, Aisha. I'm just going to name a few names in this chat today. Laura, and we have Jacob. You know, of course, we got the Truth Seekers researcher, Risha, and Nicole is in the house. And of course, our show producer, Lonnie, is in the house as well. All right. So let me see how we're going to get started with the conversation. And we're going to talk about the Whistleblowers Act, but I'm going to set up the framework for you first of how we got here, why it's so significant, and then tell you the horror stories of a few things that's already happened. So you want to stick around for that, where we already had the reminiscences of loose cannons when it comes down to our government and toward this whistleblowers. Because what I want to share with you tonight is there was some saying in the congressional hearings, we're going to go over that in just a little bit, to where our government says we need to probably put some consequences for people like myself, people like yourself, who talks about this UFO stuff, and it could be a problem. And I think they already flexed their muscles. We're going to show you some of that footage in a little bit later on in the show. And then we're going to get into the consequences of our own actions, and then what we probably need to do as we go further down the road with this UFO stuff. So let me begin with setting up what had happened. If you all knew, back last year, we had this 180 days countdown where it all began, where the government was saying, hey, we are, Congress said, government, we need 180 days for you guys to deliver the so-called good stuff about UAPs and UFOs to the public. And if you have not heard that happened last year. And there was a lot of disappointment. A lot of people was disappointed in what was happening with that because they really just didn't tell us anything. So we move on the timeline. So the fight began within certain factions in our Congress, where some said we want disclosure, others says not. The public is still screaming for disclosure, and so therefore some actions needed to be taken. Then all of a sudden, we got to a point where we were able to have what I would consider our first congressional UFO hearing. Here's some of the headlines. Congress is holding its first UFO hearing in more than 50 years. We had another one here. Congress is finally taking UFOs seriously after 50 years. And reason why this is so important, because this provides validation for all the people who were told that they was crazy, all the people who said, oh, it's cuckoo to be talking about these UFOs, or did you get abducted, or all of this stuff. It's not only vindication and validation in both cases. It is now time that the stuff, or the sugar honey iced tea, is real. And it is real, and they're taking it seriously. So 2023, like I said, it's a new beginning, because now there are some people can come out with their own stories. Now, I showed you in the beginning a quick snippet. We can talk about Bob Lazar. Everybody's heard of his story if you've been into ufology, him being a whistleblower, but all of the stuff that he went through and how the threats and how his life changed. Well, today, as of 2023, he probably would have had a little more protection, which is what it was probably intended for. And so we're going to get into that. But people like yourself, if you got some things, or you work, or if you watching this show and you possibly work for one of these contractors, or you've seen some things that you think is, needs to be told to the public, then you got some protection too to do that. And this is what it's all about. So we're going to get into bring you up to speed now. After this particular hearing, or before the hearing, I'm going to play a couple of clips for you that's going to set some things up, and I want you to kind of pay attention to it. Most people who saw this hearing was excited because they showed a couple of UAPs or UFOs out of a window that happened, within the hearing. And I think it they thought maybe it satisfied a lot of people, but for those of us in ufology, it was just like, no, we can't be going there with this. Now, what has happened though, in that hearing, there were a few conversations that I'm gonna bring to your attention. Then we will get into it. But then let me give you a little backdrop of some past whistleblowers, and then we'll get into, I think the most important part is what you should be careful with, all of us should be careful with, and even myself should walk the line, because there's a lot of things can happen. So like I said, this is going to be a great show, great eye-opener. Share this video right now. I think a lot of people need to be here to hear what we're going to be discussing tonight, because there's an impact on you. There's an impact on the whole UFO thing. It's our thing. That's why I call it like the mafia, our thing, the UFO thing, and as well as contractors, employees, or any of you. You may have a future job somewhere, and we can kind of go from there as well. So, all right. So here's what we're going to start with. Let me get into some of my particular notes that I want to share with you. We're going to talk about the main question. And the question is, why is this Whistleblowers Act so important to ufology community and what it does to the average person? So I want that question to stick with you. Put it to the side of your head tonight. We're going to answer that. But once again, why is this Whistleblowers Act so important to the ufology community and what does it mean to the average person? And we already know, I'm going to tell you how things are going and what they did. But what we do know is nothing is important as the why. The why is the most important thing. So who did this Whistleblowers Act? Well, this was a revision that was introduced by one of what I call my hero, Mike Gallagher. He's one of the representatives. He's a congressman. And there was these two factions. Okay, so picture this in your mind. This side in our government. Now, they should be on the same page. Make no mistake about it. Okay, we're not going to get into politics here, but when you're talking about something as serious as this is, they should be on the same page. Well, we have some parts of our faction of the government who don't want to tell us nothing. Now, I call them the big secret keepers, okay? And then we got the other side, which is the new younger generation coming in saying, you know what, let's get some disclosure. They're kind of interested in it and everything else. And then let me take this other part for you. In the past, you had all these presidents. You have all these past presidents saying, well, we're going to release documents. We're going to do this. And people, let me tell you something. There's not a president in the United States has the authority, or he has the authority, but he doesn't have the muscle to get past the UFO thing. I'm telling you, go look in your history, go look where you want to go. This thing right here, this thing we're talking about tonight, it don't matter. It is controlled by some bigger instances of situations that we're going to just get into, that I just want you to know how big this is and what's going to be happening. Now, the House of Representatives passed the legislation. This was Thursday, December the 8th, I think it was 2022, and it was a House vote, 350 to 80. So it was almost unanimously, okay? Everybody wanted in on this thing. The Senate approved it without changes. This is the amendment we're going to be talking about, December the 15th, 2022, right before Christmas. And there was a vote of 83 to 11. So you got to see that this thing, this UFO topic of this Whistleblowers Act is pretty serious. And then, of course, the current president signed it into law December the 13th, 2022. And then January the 1st of this year, 5-6 days ago, it is now active. And now the game begins, okay? And what this thing is to do is designed to secure our government systems for a reporting UFO sightings, which is the promise to protect the current and former officials, okay? And people who want to come out, because this is one of the things that we need to know when it gets to this. And there's, anybody can make this report, okay? So you're talking government employees, you're talking contractors can send details to the Pentagon office. You're talking about former employees, and the system is called the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. So that's the new office, All Domain Anomaly resolution office. This is what you're paying for. Okay, I want you to know you're paying for it. So once again, if you know anybody out there from this day forward, and if you want to talk to them about a UFO and they want to tell you, oh, this is cuckoo stuff, tell them they're paying for it and hit them in their pocketbooks, because every time they get that paycheck this year and they see those government taxes and all the stuff that's coming out, they're paying for this new office, all domain resolution office, and it's about UFOs. So this is real now, people. It is reality now. They are here. There is something flying around in our skies. We don't know what it is. Most cases, it is not from this planet and from other dimensions, wherever you want to call it, in the water, underground, under the earth, over the earth, whatever, they're here. And our government is saying we need to check it out, and they're going to use your money to do it. So I just want you to know, I want to, so the people be like, yeah, Roderick, yeah, yeah, they're in it. So anyway, I'm going to set up something for you. In this past hearing, okay, there was a couple of statements that was made that most people overlooked. I didn't. And there was a few others who didn't. And when we saw this, I just rolled back in my seat and I was like, we're in trouble. Houston, we got a problem. And did everybody hear that when it comes down to that? Now, okay, we had passed whistleblowers that a lot of you have heard about. Okay, we can get into one of these persons right now, and I'm just going to go into the history of some of these whistleblowers. So we all heard of this guy, Edward Snowden. He was a computer intelligence consultant for the National Security Agency. In 2007, he was stationed in Geneva, where he was responsible for maintaining computer network systems and had access to a large amount of classified data. And while working with the CIA, he saw a number of questionable activities take place, and he whistleblowed. Okay, I can get into more detail, and what does it has to do with this UFO thing? I'm gonna keep calling that tonight. Is they treated this man bad? They slapped him around like some, bowling ball pins or whatever. And had he had the opportunity to be under what we're about to hear about, it may have helped him. Now, there's always been a Whistleblowers Act. So don't get me wrong. There's always been a Whistleblowers Act out there. And this is kind of an amendment to it for the UFOs, but there's never been any protection there. And so people like him, Bob Lazar, that you know about, oh man, they took a beating from coming out from there. But now it is a new game, and we're going to get into it right now. So I'm going to play a clip for you. First, I'm going to play a kind of a setup, clip from the news back in the day when Tucker Carlson talked about it. And we're going to move down a timeline tonight, and let's take you there.
We spent some time reporting on this story. We should have spent a lot more time, because this could be the most consequential thing to happen to this country, to this world, maybe ever. In June, the United States government is set to release a public report on everything it knows about UFOs. Lou Elizondo is the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. He's been on the show a number of times.
Now, I played that clip for you because, Tucker Carlson. This was several months back last year when he actually talked about this. And he stated it's supposed to be the most important thing that ever happened in the universe for human mankind, that our government was getting ready to pass on some information to the public. Now, the government decided to keep the game the same. They changed the rules. So they're going to always come back and say, we're doing this. People say we're doing that, but that's not the case. So I just want you to know. So when that happened, and we got Lou Elizondo and the rest of them start coming out, then the game changed. They did release that information, wasn't nothing in it. And then all of a sudden, we got this congressional hearing. I'm going to play for you 3 clips, not all at the same time. I'm going to break them down in different sections. But one of them in particular, you need to listen to what was said by our defense, Department of Defense, about you, citizens, and what they was prepared or thought about doing for people that talk about UFOs, like myself and you, any of you who see a video or you find something on whatever and you post it, the preparation that could happen behind this is not something that we need to be playing with as the people. So let's go into one of these clips, and I'm just going to play one of them right now. This is from LaHood, one of our senators.
My question is, when there are unsubstantiated claims or manufactured claims of UAPs or kind of false information that's put out there, what are the consequences for people that are involved with that or groups that are involved with that?
Now, did you hear that? His question was, if someone was to report a UFO or put some stuff out on their YouTube channel, maybe on their TikTok, that they think is not appropriate or they want to deem it national security or a problem, what are the consequences? This was a congressional hearing that a lot of people missed. They were asleep. And I can guarantee you many of you didn't even know about it, that the hearing exists and what was said. And yeah, you might have watched it and just waited to see them show a UFO, but you had to listen to the conversation. And the fact that they had this conversation on the record, meaning they was prepared to put it in play. And so once again, let me play his clip again, and I'm gonna give you another one.
My question is, when there are unsubstantiated claims or manufactured claims of UAPs or kind of false information that's put out there, what are the consequences for people that are involved with that or groups that are involved with that?
Now, groups could be MUFON, groups can be you, it could be whatever. And you use the word consequences and non-substantiated claims. So that means whatever they want to call that, okay? So that's the most weirdest part of what we're going to get into about this tonight. Another part is what the defense, our defense, the Department of Defense, how he answered the question. And ladies and gentlemen, listen to it closely, and it's going to set the tone for the rest of the show tonight.
So one of the concerns that we have is that there are a lot of individuals and groups that are putting information out there that that could be considered to be somewhat self-serving. We're trying to do what's in the best interest of, one, the Department of Defense, and then two, what's in the best interest of the public, to ensure that we can put factual-based information back into the mainstream and back into the bloodstream of the reporting media that we have, so people understand what's there.
Now, right there, what you heard is him saying they want to control the narrative. They want to make sure that they can put back out into public things about UFOs and everything else that they want to put into the mainstream, the big secret keepers, for us to look at. This went down in a hearing. Now, there's another clip that's going to tell you what they really want to do with the citizens, and that's us. He's going to use the word citizens. And when he says that, he's talking about you, me, brother, cousins, sisters, and everyone else who's in this country that is part of the United States. And he says we have to do something about these citizens. I'm going to play that clip, and then we fit to go for a run.
So just taking that a step further, so that misinformation, false narratives, manufactured, so what are the consequences? Are there legal consequences? Are there examples that you can give us where people have been held accountable by this misinformation or disinformation?
I can't give you, any examples where somebody's been legally held liable for putting something out there, but...
Well, I guess what's the deterrent from people engaging in this activity?
I don't know. I don't have that answer. That's something that welcome the dialogue with Congress to talk about that with the members who help legislate those laws to say what should be the legal ramifications that we could use to potentially hold individuals accountable, whether it be citizens or information that might be injected into our media by other forces or other countries, if you will.
All right. So you guys heard that, right? I'm going to ask you in the chat, did any of you hear the last few seconds of that clip where he says, what are we going to do? We need to figure out what we can do toward citizens, okay? And anyone else who is putting out this information that we probably think is a different narrative than what we want. Did y'all hear that? Give me a 1 in the chat if you heard that. It was the last 10 seconds. And then tell me what you think about that right now. Let's get some interaction between all of us. What do you think? That was a true congressional hearing. That was our Department of Defense saying we need to have something in place for the citizens. Thank you. I see I got some ones, and I'm glad you guys are paying attention, because I want this to be known for you and for us going forward for 2023. And once again, you saw it. So you got some ones coming in. Thank you for participating with that and showing that. But what do you think? What do you think about this in place? Because I'm going to show you something in a minute later on in the show that you need to stick around for. They actually tested the waters. You hear what he said? We need to go out to some citizens. Last month, or about 45 days ago, they did a no-knock warrant on a UFO person like myself, took all of his stuff, no questions asked, and I'm going to show you, and we're going to talk about that. And it was the beginning to what was happening, which also came out why we have this whistleblowers amendment, because it was a congressional hearing. So there were some congressmen sitting there, heard him say that, and then they said, wait a minute, we need to protect the people, because they're going to go after the people and shut this UFO thing down. We need to shut it down because it's serious, and technology or whatever the reasons are. So, all right. And, you know, it's, I don't know. Teresa said, I don't understand the full reason of non-disclosure. Well, there's a lot of reasons. We can get into that if we like, Teresa, but technology is number one. Money, power, all of that is part of it. And once again, I want you to, and for those again, if you hadn't seen it, I can play it again, because I don't think we got enough warnings out of here. There's 700 people here, and we got about 15, 21s. I hope you all are listening, and I'm going to provide more information for you tonight as we go down, and we'll get into some more about this act. Now, one of the things I want to show you is one of the parts of the provisions of the act. Okay, let me show you right here. This is part of it. This is they want to create a source method by which a current or former government employees or contractors can submit UAP related information to the Pentagon's office through the office and also through the Congressional Armed Services. Now, reason this is important, because you got to remember, as we talk about the big secret keepers, everyone, it's bigger than them. And the big secret keepers, I want you from this day forward to put anybody in that bucket. There could be the government, it could be church groups, it could be government contractors, it could be anybody that's controlling the narrative to us that they want to keep the big secret a secret when it comes down to these UFOs, extraterrestrials, and whatever is happening. And there's a whole lot of these people. You're talking hundreds of thousands of people involved. You got all of these contractors and all of this. And this goes back to when we have what we call this Freedom of Information Act. This is called a FOIA, okay? This is where you, I, or the press have the right to write a letter to any government program that we have and ask for answers, because they work for us, supposedly. And you use the FOIA Act, you go and you say, okay, tell me, but you got to know specifically what you're asking for. If it's called Roderick's, box of chicken, I'm just using that word, and you says Roderick's chicken and forget the word box, they can come back and say it don't exist, okay? I know I could have used something better than box of chicken, and I'm not hungry, and I am on a whole new level of eating, and I should have used box of lettuce. Yeah, okay, no problem. You get the picture. So anyway, yeah, y'all get it. So what I'm saying with the FOIA Act is that we have the right to get this information out. However, because they now got smart and said, we're going to move all of this UFO government stuff into the hands of McDonnell Douglas or all of these private contractors, none of us have no right to go up to anybody who owns their own business and says, tell me what's going on with your business. No, you can't. So that's the way they figured, okay, we can hide this from the public and get around it. Let's put it in the hands of a contractors and let them do the work, and they can't ask no questions. Okay, so that set the tone to why the Whistleblowers Amendment also covers contractors' employees. Okay, now this is outside of the government, because the government can mandate anything they want to the employees and say, we're going to have them, they need to talk. We can make them talk. But now they can't make a contractor or employee or someone else who's seen something talk. Now the Whistleblowers Act covers those people. So if you work for one of these contractors and you walked in a room and you saw all of a sudden they was in there creating some type of new, super soldier or just whatever, you now can come back and say, hey, I want to go fill out this form. I'm protected. I need to tell them about it. Now, make no mistake about it. You got the right, you got the left in the government, particular, political arena. Both sides are sworn to protect the people of the United States. So if it's going to be something that is going to be totally national security, the Whistleblowers Act doesn't mean nothing, because they both are going to protect what the big secrets are. So that's part of the sham of this thing, I think. And so let's get back into some more of these details. I'm glad we got some more warns and everything else. And once again, let me go back down to the bottom and watch some and see what we got in the chats. Boy, y'all are chatting tonight. Yeah, contractors, employees, yes. She says, I hope there are any tricking people to come forward. No, they're not going to trick anybody to come forward. There are some people that emotionally know that they're creating certain things, or maybe they're torturing some people, or maybe there's some hybrid program and they don't feel good about it. And they can't say anything because they don't sign these non-disclosures that's not only going to take their house, their family, all the way down to nothing. So they want to come out, and now they have mental illness behind what they're doing. All of this is to protect them, and appreciate it. The ones that are still coming in, that you guys understand where we're going. All right, so we set that up. Now let's get into another phase of what I want to kind of share with you. And like I said, I got a couple other whistleblowers, people that we can talk about, into the point here, and I'll get into some of their stories as well. We have this particular gentleman right here. His name is Lieutenant Ryan Graves. Now, he was a retired U.S. Navy lieutenant and fighter pilot. Graves is the former chair of the AAI and the UAP Integration Outreach Committee. He's also, him and his squadron witnessed UFOs on multiple occasions. He's one of the few individuals brave enough to discuss his experiences publicly despite the backlash. Now, he described the UFO as some dark cubes, and he described it as like inside like a translucent fear. Now, he's in the military, so he couldn't have come forward. He couldn't have come forward and really talk about these things. And usually a lot of them do it after they done retired, because there's no more things that the military could do to them. There's no more threat in the narratives. But his story kind of goes that in 2014, after I think a radar system he was upgraded, him and some members of the squadron began to notice objects on the radar and that had previously been detected. Now, the reason why I'm going to focus on that part is because there are so many stories of military people that have now gotten out of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, or whatever. They all talk about our radar seeing something that they don't see, or the pilots see it in the sky, but our radars don't see it. Now, that's something that we need to know about, because that means that there's some technology, some cloaking, or whatever we want to call it, that are seriously doing some things there. So let me get into one of the other stories that I want to kind of bring to your attention, and then we'll get into a couple other things from there. Hang on a second here. All right. That's not. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So we got the wrong person. Gotcha. All right. That was show producer. Give me some notes on the backside. You can go back to the note screen. Showed the wrong guy, she said. You showed the. Well, I don't know. I just put it what we got. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. So we was talking about Graves, and I showed a guy named Clifford Stone. So this is Graves. This is the right person right here. All right. So now we good. And then Stone is this person. So we got that, and we can kind of go from there. All right, so let's do this then. Let's kind of go into a quick little break of information. If you own YouTube, you want to support the channel, you can go, and love for you to support us, get you some gear. But you go to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel, and then when you get there, there's a pop-up on your phone. And there we got a new custom alien shirt. That's custom. Nobody else got this, and it's got them on the front and back, and it's got our Why the Big Secret logo. But you can go to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel, and then from your phone and app, and you'll be able to do that as well. For those of you just gotten here, there is a beautiful Manifest Your Destiny workshop coming up. You definitely want to be part of that. And let me give you a little video real quick with Billy Carson telling you a little bit about what's coming on with that, so that it's time for you to go over to Eventbrite and make sure you subscribe or order the workshop itself. So let me show you the video.
Hi, my name is Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. You must be a part of my Manifest Destiny 2023 workshop. The last 4 years were absolutely amazing, and every year it got bigger and bigger as I impacted and touched more than 130,000 lives. With over 10,000 amazing testimonials over the last 4 years, this is something to grow on. This year is going to be the biggest and best year ever. All new science, all new quantum mechanics, all new metaphysics, all new manifesting techniques in a fully interactive online workshop that's going to blow your mind and set you and your family up for the rest of 2023. We have amazing guest speakers. We have the worldwide Tim Story. He's a life coach to the stars. He's an amazing teacher and a multi-times best-selling author on New York Times. We also have Elizabeth Hoekstra, another best-selling author, and her specialty is how to deal with the shadow work and the trauma, and how to clear your mind, and how to use modalities to clear your consciousness to help you get to higher levels. We also have Antonina coming on to teach trauma relief in a fully interactive trauma release class taught by a licensed person to help you release the trauma from your body. Trauma that's been impacted and stored in your body for a very long time. And I'm coming on to help teach all the manifesting techniques, the technology of the human body, how to access it, how to use it, how to fully utilize the laws of attraction to bend the matrix to your will and create the reality that you and your family deserve. Make sure you click the link ASAP in the caption of this video or in my bio and sign up on Eventbrite ASAP because space is limited. I want to see you there. Be ready for an explosive 2023. Peace.
Peace. All right, y'all hear it? And make sure, again, go to Eventbrite. You can't miss it right there, and sign up for it ASAP. There's limited space, so you definitely want to do that. All right, so let's get back down to a couple other things that we want to go into the seriousness of what is happening. As I promised you, I'm going to show you some few more clips, and I'm going to show you one of the things that had happened. So let me paint the picture for you before we get into this other part of this story tonight. Well, as always, there's two factions to everything when you get into our political arena, and it's no different in this UFO space. There are some people that are saying, we want the truth. We want the truth. We want to know about these UFOs. So therefore, there are new people in Congress that are now pushing for what we call disclosure. A lot of us talk about it. Well, we got disclosure coming. They're going to tell us some things. And my question before we get into the whole thing of disclosure is, do you really want disclosure? Let me see in the chat, 1's for yes, 2 for no, and participate, because I'm going somewhere with this. Do you really want disclosure about what's happening in this UFO space? And I'll wait for you guys to answer with the 1's or 2's before I proceed into what I'm going to share with you. But that is the magic question. Do you really want disclosure? Or you really, really want them to tell you about disclosure and what's happening with the UFOs, UAPs, all of this stuff? Do you really want it? All right. We're getting some 1's. We're getting a bunch of 1's. That's great. And when I see a couple of more, I'm going to go down this quick journey for you. And it's a question that you have to answer for yourself so that this Whistleblowers Act that we're talking about tonight is going to make sense for you. Is it something that you want? And I appreciate it. We got the ones. We got 600-700 people here. So give me 100 ones. Let's see. And make sure you like the video today. All right. As we go down where we're going with this. So as the ones that keep coming in, and all of you saying, I want disclosure, no doubt, I want disclosure. Yes, yes, yes. Let me give you a scenario, just two. I'm gonna give you two scenarios, and then you come back and tell me that it's okay with you, all right? So let's just say last week I was on an airplane, big one, and I flew down to Billy Carson's house for New Year's Eve, okay? And I had got up to use the restroom, and the flight attendant said, hurry up, because we're going to run into some turbulence, okay? And I said, okay, no problem. And you don't want to be in the bathroom where this thing is shaking. No problem. So, but the turbulence was shaking the thing. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I get people all the time, Roderick, was it a good flight? It didn't crash. That's all I can tell you about a flight. If it's good or bad for me, it didn't crash. Okay. So let's go with disclosure, though. What if, this is just hypothetical scenario, that all that turbulence, which has happened before, I'm saying, was caused by a UAP flying over the aircraft, okay? Caused some mechanical issues. We've had that. You go back, you can listen to some TSA pilots talking about the instrument panels was cut off. Yes, it's happened. It happened in June. I'm not lying to you. So imagine you getting off the plane now, and they hand you this brochure and says, because you wanted disclosure, we just wanted you to know that turbulence that happened up there was caused by a UFO that passed over the plane. Now, it turned off some instrument panels. Yeah, the pilot had to do a couple of evasive maneuvers, but we safely landed. Do you want to know that? Or how about when you get on the plane, and they go, ladies and gentlemen, put your oxygen mask on, blah, blah, blah. But just let you know, the last flight, the 223 from Dallas back to here, we had a UAP that flew over. And I know you want disclosure. We want to tell you that it happened. Now, of course, we see them all the time. And sometimes they shake our planes, blah, blah, blah. Do you want that disclosure? Yes? Y'all still want it? But yes, now we only have to go. You still want to know, and how would that affect the economy? Now, because this is telling you why they're keeping it a secret now. They do not want to disrupt the economy of what's happening. And let me give you another scenario. Okay, I see the one still coming in. Okay, y'all still down. All right, so you look down, you stay in a nice neighborhood, and you look down and you see the neighbor's grass done grew just a little bit. The newspapers are still outside. So the word is the Johnsons is on vacation. That's the word, okay? But all of a sudden you get a knock at the door, Men in Black or whoever says, hey, because you want disclosure, we just want you to know your neighbor wasn't on vacation. They got abducted, okay? And because you want to know, we just want to tell you, and they've been abducting a lot of people in this neighborhood lately, and they've been probing them, and they've been doing all these things when they have them, and do you want that is all I'm saying. Because that's how deep you're asking for, because all of you just want to know, do they have a captured alien somewhere? But I'm saying disclosure can come in a whole lot of ways that we're not ready for the information that can come. And my question is, are you prepared for that in that capacity? Right? Okay, I see y'all. Somebody saying, yeah, y'all want it. Still do. Y'all still want it. Okay, that's cool. I get it. Some Empress stuff. I'm ready. All right. I just want you to know, because it's going to get deep, ladies and gentlemen, when it gets down to this, because you're pushing for something that you can't handle. And like Jack Nicholson says, you can't handle the truth. And I'm telling you, this is no joke, but you can't handle the truth. Or can you? Are you ready to speak about it? Are you ready to talk about it? Even in our community, it's a taboo subject. Do we want disclosure enough to start having conversation? Because it's going to still lead back down to the road of religion. It's going to lead down to curiosity. And that's another story. Let me get out of that. That ain't what you're here for tonight. All right. Frank says, yes, yes, yes. All right. Yes, we want to know. We're not scared. Okay, that's fine. I'm with you. All right, so we're going to cover that. So here's the deal. Now, what had happened in the past, I done set this thing up for you. You now know that there's been some action happen. We now know that they said, is there any consequences? Y'all remember that? I'm going to play it one more time, and then I'm going to roll you into the scary part of what I was talking about tonight and what these people, the big secret keepers, are willing to do right before your eyes. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, get ready, because it ain't no joke. They're not playing, all right? So I'm going to play this clip. Listen to the last 10 seconds, and you're going to hear him talk about it, and then he's going to prove what he said. Yes, they actually said, is there consequences for citizens? And they did a test run. I think, personally, they did a test run and right before eyes. But let me play it again, and then we're going to go into the test run.
So just taking that a step further, so that misinformation, false narratives, manufactured, so what are the consequences? Are there legal consequences? Are there examples that you can give us where people have been held accountable by this misinformation or disinformation?
I can't give you, any examples where somebody's been legally held liable for putting something out there, but
well, I guess what's the deterrent from people engaging in this activity?
I don't know. I don't have that answer. That's something that welcome the dialogue with Congress to talk about that with the members who help legislate those laws to say what should be the legal ramifications that we could use to potentially hold individuals accountable, whether it be citizens or information that might be injected into our media by other forces or other countries, if you will.
All right, people, you heard that. What could they do? What could be deterrent? How could we do something? Now, this Whistleblowers Act, they knew was going to go into law at the first of this year. And November the 20th or 20-something, they raided someone's place. He's a UFO person, just like myself, just like many others, has his own website, talks about the UFOs, and they raided him with a no-knock warrant, and they took everything that they wanted to take. Let me play the news clipping for you. It's about 4 minutes. Check it out, and we're going to go deep right there. So let's go.
The owner of a website devoted to the Area 51 military base wants to know why federal agents busted down the doors to search 2 of his homes.
So he says there were actually 2 teams of more than a dozen agents serving federal search warrants at 2 locations on November 3rd. But the target of the warrant says no one will tell him what was done or why the search was even authorized.
8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp now with the exclusive story.
Secrecy has always been paramount at Area 51, a once obscure outpost in the Nevada desert that might be the world's best-known secret base.
And its very isolation is of the greatest importance.
Since the mid-1950s, Groom Lake has been the location of choice for the testing and development of America's most advanced military technology, including spy planes, drones, and cutting-edge sensor systems. Dreamland, one of its many nicknames, is a magnet for civilian watchdogs, aerospace enthusiasts, the UFO curious, and most likely spies.
We see it flying over Rachel quite frequently.
Jorg Arnu, a naturalized citizen, has devoted much of his life to understanding the base. His website, dreamlandresort.com, is a clearinghouse for all things 51, including photos and videos of the base and anything flying above it. Arnu owns a home in Las Vegas, but bought a place in tiny Rachel, Nevada, so he could be close to the action.
I came to this country because I love this country, and I became a citizen to support this country. I would never do anything to hurt this country, but I don't understand what is going on right now.
Arnu is not anti-government, not even anti-secrecy. He says he's always been careful to screen out content that might cross the line and expose something that is legitimately classified. But on November 3rd, he learned the hard way that something on his site had apparently gone too far. More than a dozen agents from the FBI and Air Force OSI smashed through his gate, broke through his door, and stormed into his home.
I'm asking, okay, what is going on? What are you doing in my house? To which I'm looking basically at this point at a riot shield and a gun that was drawn and pointed at me, and an agent in a stern voice giving me commands to turn around, hands against the wall. He then proceeded to yank my hands pretty violently back, handcuff me very tight. I mean, it really hurt. I got the message that, hey, these guys are serious.
Arnu was held outside while agents searched the home. He was given a few pages from a search warrant that was more than 40 pages long. Most of the warrant remains sealed, he says, including what he presumes is an explanation of what the agents wanted.
As it is right now, I have no clear understanding what I'm being charged with or why my property was seized. My various computers, 3 or 4 laptops, cell phones, memory sticks, backup drives, my camera equipment that is worth almost $10,000, my drone, everything was taken. I was presented with a list of items that were taken, but not with a reason why they were taken.
At the same time, another team of more than a dozen agents kicked in the door of his Las Vegas residence, rousted and detained his girlfriend, and then conducted another vigorous search.
As she got out of bed in her underwear, no shoes on, barefoot, she was led out into the street, in the middle of the street, in full view of all the neighbors, and subsequently our homes were searched.
Arnu says he repeatedly asked what he had done and received hints from an agent that one or more images on his site showed something that's classified, but no one will tell him what it is or which image crossed the line. He voluntarily took down some panoramas of the base and said he would have quietly done so earlier if anyone had requested it. Flashback to 3 years ago when up to 2 million online UFO enthusiasts vowed to storm into Area 51. Arnu led the local campaign to discourage the event, even defended the Air Force's need for some secrecy. Many of the people who gather on his website are former Area 51 employees or government contractors, not anti-government radicals.
Do you feel that this was sending some sort of a message to you that, hey, Area 51 is still a classified place, secret things go on there, sensitive things go on there, and you better watch your step?
I believe this was all about sending a message.
Arnu will be meeting with an attorney this week. We'll try.
Now, so as you can see, this goes back to right here.
My question is, when there are unsubstantiated claims or manufactured claims of UAPs or kind of false information that's put out there, what are the consequences for people that are involved with that or groups that are involved with that?
Now, this was a congressional hearing, everyone. That right there, because it was said on the record, set in motion what I just showed you that actually happened. It happened right after this, months later. Is there any consequences? So they felt that this guy's website, whatever he put up there, and he's right there about Area 51, all this UFO stuff, and they came in and took everything. And did you hear what he said? They didn't even give him a reason. He doesn't know why, and they didn't have to tell him. And that would most people in ufology right now thinks that was a test run to what we now, why we got to have this amendment, this Whistleblowers Act, to protect people, because they're already now saying we need to control this narrative. And people, this is serious. This is happening right now in real play. This is no joke. This is no whatever. You see it in real time. I showed you the congressional hearing. That was one of the congressmen talking to the Department of Defense, obviously working together. He led the question. He came back. The other one says, I don't know. What do we need to do? So we need to go after our citizens. How is it? And listen to me closely. We, the people in the United States of America, supposedly have this free country that we have where he says we need to go after our citizens. And not nothing in the planet other than this UFO thing that they're willing to go that far to cover it all up. This is why it's no joke. What I do for a living is no joke. What you hear a lot of these other people that do this, where some people don't take it seriously, we have to cover our tracks. We got to make sure we don't go down no rabbit holes. We can't report things that somebody say and people sit here and say, oh, this and this and that. People, I'm out front. I'm out front with this thing. And I'm getting more out front in our community, people of color community, with the stories that some things you don't even hear. And they're already maneuvering to begin the process to shut some of this stuff down. I want you to understand that it is no joke. And once again, I'm going to play this for the last time, for the very last time, so that you get it, is this guy when he talks about the citizens. That's you. And this is our government, the big secret keepers. And then they did it. Okay. Last time.
So just taking that a step further, so that misinformation, false narratives, manufactured, so what are the consequences? Are there legal consequences? Are there examples that you can give us where people have been held accountable by this misinformation or disinformation?
I can't give you, any examples where somebody's been legally held liable for putting something out there, but...
Well, I guess what's the deterrent from people engaging in this activity?
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, did you hear what's the deterrent? They just did it. They said, okay, we're going to raid this person's place and we're going to put everybody on notice. And you hear what the guy said at the end of the interview with George Knapp. This is a warning for everybody. This is a warning. Be careful, you UFO people out here talking, and you're going to pass along some of our secrets. So I'm saying to you, yeah, we want disclosure. We want it. At what cost is it going to happen for some people like myself, who will come here each week? And there's a lot of things I could have brought to you. There's a lot of stuff I can unveil, photos or things that I don't know where they come from. And I'm not claiming to be whatever they are, so they don't need to be knocking on my door. But what I'm saying to you is, if I show something here that could be speculative and it could be true on their end, all they got to do is claim whatever Roderick just showed you guys is this false narrative. And then tomorrow, they're at the door. Well, they're not going to even knock. They're going to come in, take my little laptop, my little camera, and my little roadcaster, my mic, my phone. I ain't here no more. But you know what's going to happen? I'm going to be not here on Tuesday night. Y'all going to continue to do what you do. So I'm going to, you get what I'm saying? It's the risk. So when I ask, now I'm just laughing. When I say, hey, I need your stories, or like the video, show your support, put your comments in, that's okay. That's just the value of what we do. So I want you to know there's a risk at my job and others like me, especially with Billy, who uncovers forbidden knowledge. I mean, forbidden knowledge, right? There's a price, but we come out here with courage and we begin to go down this journey. So that is why the whistleblower is in place, hopefully to protect people like myself, people like other people out there that are not just giving bad information, but being protected from the fact that they can claim whatever we're talking about is a problem. And so somebody talk about I'm not sharing stories. Okay, so, and he told me you're not doing it in his chat, they're banning. So what I'm saying now is, what do we need to do as people? And like I said, you got UFO taxes. I think if more people start asking where their money is, where the money is going, and wanting to really truly figure that out, then you're going to really get some information from the people, because it's all about the money. It is about the money, and that's one of the things that rules it all. This is why disclosure is where it is and why they want. So, and make no mistake about it, even if you think you're going to get disclosure, if there are 10 doors, that something is behind every door, unless we the people could say we know exactly what we think is behind door number one, disclose it to us. They might say, okay, we'll open it up, but they will not tell us nothing about 2 through 9 or 10, because it ain't our business to them. And if we don't know the ask, they're not going to ever tell. That's why disclosure is not what people think it's going to be. How do you think they're going to disclose what you don't know about? Which is probably why the other faction said, let's put in a whistleblower so that we can dig out those information. Now that we can put this in place, maybe some people will come forward and tell us stuff we don't know. And that is cool. All right. So we're all behind the Whistleblowers Amendment. Okay, because we're going to get some information. But then there's one other element involved. It's both parties, both sides took an oath to protect the United States of America, the people of the United States, and the secrets and national security. So if any time one of those whistleblowers come up and says, I'm going to tell you something that's so significant, and both sides feel that, oh, wait a minute, that is just too much, we ain't hearing nothing. And so it starts all over again. We're going to still have to speculate. We're going to still have to do our own investigations. But now with a problem that they now have some things in place. And so Christina said they're only allowing this because of the work of Greer has been doing. It's not just him, but he was instrumental. Yes, he was. But there's a lot. It's still a voice and groundswell of a lot of people that are asking about disclosure and wanting things to be disclosed. And that's one of the things that we really can look into. Another part of this that really concerns any of all of us at any given point is going to be, once again, you being a little leery about what you post on YouTube tomorrow. If somebody sends you a clip or however that's going to work, you got to be a little careful with what is going to go down. And I'm not saying they're just going to be, like raiding people's houses all over the place, but they will pick and choose what they want. And we can assume at some point that wherever they went was important, or like he said, what's the deterrent? And now they have a deterrent, because I can tell you that next day for me, I was like, oh, I was going to talk about this. And I was going to tell the Forbidden Knowledge Clan some good stuff about this. And I'm like, nope, because ain't none of them coming to get me out of jail. None of you, right? No. All I'm going to do is take one for the team. Well, Billy will come and get me. They'll come and get me. But I'm saying, you guys ain't going to come and get me. Oh, you're going to say, great stuff, Roderick. That's great, man. That's cool. Man, he should have done better. Oh, my God, man. I don't know why he showed that slide. And it's going to be like, oh, yeah. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to look into the chat and see we got a couple of things that we could go into right now. All right. So, having said that, and haven't talked to you about this particular what's going on, I didn't want to go into the legal details. We had a show prepared for you to go into some details of a few other things. But as I went through it, we show you the Whistleblowers Amendment, kind of give you some background on some people. Our researchers did an awesome job. You can give a shout out to Risha and Nicole Waters and Song, and they did an awesome job with some information. And a lot of it I did not, because I got emotional about this tonight. I really did. And because it affects me. And I really wanted you to know from me the emotions that I carry with what is happening, what could potentially happen, because I'm all about trying to service you, the individual, the people, to provide information that we can to help humanity, number one, and also, move that pen of narrative of what we do. And so I just, decided to give you a different side of this tonight, so that that it's real, it's no joke, and that once you start seeing more and more people that's stepping out here, providing UFO information to you, extraterrestrial information, whether scriptures and all of this stuff, that every one of these individuals, as of this year, is taking a risk that they could possibly fall under some of this stuff. And I just want you to know, support their channel, support them, support their calls, give them information, thumbs up, watch their video, whatever it takes. Just know that is not something, one of those deals. Let me check out any particular chats and everything else. If you found that this was some good information for you, or you really it's something new for you, let me know in the chat. I want to know if it's something that you enjoy hearing about, or not enjoy, but just kind of wanted to know. And so I'll look kind of down in here for a second here. I see somebody talking about, yes, Bigfoot is real. Yeah, I mean, you got all the legendary stories out there, but if they decide that they don't want you to know about Bigfoot, yeah, they're not going to tell you. It's one of those things from there. So once again, if you found some value in the information tonight, just put it into the chat and let me know. But like I said, we could have went to some technical stuff for you, but I thought to give you the real deal of what has happened. It is happening, and what they're doing, and what and how is nothing compared to the why. We need to know why it's a big secret. Why are they doing what they're doing? Because they're always one step ahead of us. From there, subscribe to the why if you have not, because we're getting ready to open a can of worms. So I'm here on Tuesday nights, but I'm also on Why the Big Secret YouTube channel. The producer Lonnie has just put the link in there, if you don't mind, and if that's for just saying, hey, Roderick, you did a good job. If you have not, click the button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Why the Big Secret. You'll hear more stuff throughout the week. Thursday, so tomorrow, we'll be live streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time on my YouTube channel. And then Thursday, we're going to be on Clubhouse. Me and the crew, we're all going to be on Clubhouse. And that's it too. Courtney is here tonight. So y'all make sure y'all give a shout out and watch her stuff as well. She's part of the Forbidden Knowledge family. And she has her show. I think it's tomorrow or whatever. Courtney put it in chat, and I'll bring it up on the screen when your show is as well. So we all family here with the Forbidden Knowledge, and Courtney, and especially if you need some readings and all of that stuff, she does an awesome job too. And like I said, we're going to be on Clubhouse. So let me look here. We got all right. Adnan says, good job, Roderick. And he has a store. We're going to be talking. Now, here's the deal. Okay. So Courtney's show is on, let me put it, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. So y'all make sure you support her show as well. And it's 8 p.m. Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. So check it out. Make sure you do. You're going to get some enlightening information. And Courtney, and just put in the chat. I'll bring it on the screen. What your show is going to be about tomorrow. So anyway, and all right, 7. And somebody talking about what marriage? He talking about no marriage. Yeah, we're going to be on Clubhouse tomorrow. If you're not heard of Clubhouse is an audio app. Go there. Why the Big Secret? You can find it. We already got one of the largest clubs there. It's 25,000 people already. So definitely go there. And Thursday, I think it's 7:00 Central. Me, the show producer, our researchers, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff there, UFO related, of course. And definitely you want to do that. Someone said, much appreciated. This needs to be more talk about reality. Yes. And last but not least, all right, listen closely. Look me into the eyes as I look at you in this camera, and I share with you a few things that I want you to follow along with me, especially those of you who have had an experience. You know somebody who's had an experience. We're going to dive deeper into this. I've already got a lot of your emails, contact, and this and that. Now, I'm saying this right now. From henceforward, we want to bring some of you on camera. Yes, we want to talk to you and let other people understand your experience and also the emotional value, or not value, but things. If you're into that, you're listening to me right now, go and to the whythebigsecretwebsite.com. Contact us. And I want you to put in there, yes, I am willing to be on camera. Please, I get so many stories, and I do care about your stories. Right now, I'm looking for people who are willing to get the mic, who are willing to help the humanity of what we're working with. Thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat as well. And if you're willing to come on camera, and even like tonight, where we got 700-800 people here, and we can talk about, maybe 2 or 3 of you talk about this experience, what is going on, because I do think seriously that we focus so much on what's happening in the sky that it's time for us to focus on what's happening to people on the ground. And as I'm going into 2023, as my producer have now said, your new nickname is the Catalyst. I'm going to take that into heart, and we're going to go places. And nothing will be the same ever again as we go down this road of helping people deal with what's happening, undiscovering the truth, creating the conversations. And I'll have an announcement for you in a few weeks on how we're going to achieve that in a big way. And I definitely want to prepare you for that. And with that being said, I think at this point, as always, it's been a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege serving you tonight. And hopefully you get something out and pass the word that be cautious, be vigilant, though, when it comes down to where we're about to go with this thing. And it is serious. Know that people like myself and other people who dive deep into this and come and bring you knowledge and content at a risk. As of today, it wasn't that way a few weeks back, a month ago, 6 months ago, but it is a new reality for us today. And now we have to have an amendment to protect us from doing a service for you and me and going deeper. And they had to put a law in place to help us. So any given day, they can come and say what you said last night on Forbidden Knowledge TV was wrong or false. We're going to take all of your stuff. And now everything is gone. Okay. Just like that. Just like they did that guy. They took his cameras, his little, every little thing. Why? The camera, they could have just took the memory card. They took his equipment to deliver information. They said he's not going to ever do this again. But obviously, he probably rebought some new stuff and all that. And that's what we all would have to do. So with that saying, we are under a new era. And my Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter, is Roderick Martin is the handle. Go to my Instagram, which is Real Roderick Martin, because there's going to be a lot of new content coming out. Please go ahead and follow me there, and we're going to share some information. And that's it. That's all I want to say, that I love you, and I love each and every one of you. And every night that I'm here is a privilege, and it's a privilege to be here for you. Much love. And I'm going to end it with the commercial that, not commercial, but, this particular event, Manifest the Destiny Workshop. And you should go, because I witnessed a lot of great things when I was with them over the past New Year's Eve, brought in a whole new year. And it's just amazing to do so. Post your comments, like the video, and good night, everyone.
Hi, my name is Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. You must be a part of my Manifest Destiny 2023 workshop. The last 4 years were absolutely amazing, and every year it got bigger and bigger as I impacted and touched more than 130,000 lives. With over 10,000 amazing testimonials over the last 4 years, this is something to grow on. This year is going to be the biggest and best year ever. All new science, all new quantum mechanics, all new metaphysics, all new manifesting techniques, in a fully interactive online workshop that's going to blow your mind and set you and your family up for the rest of 2023. We have amazing guest speakers. We have the worldwide Tim Story. He's a life coach to the stars. He's an amazing teacher and a multi-times best-selling author on New York Times. We also have Elizabeth Hoekstra, another best-selling author, and her specialty is how to deal with the shadow work and the trauma, and how to clear your mind, and how to use modalities to clear your consciousness to help you get to higher levels. We also have Antonina coming on to teach trauma relief in a fully interactive trauma release class taught by a licensed person to help you release the trauma from your body. Trauma that's been impacted and stored in your body for a very long time. And I'm coming on to help teach all the manifesting techniques, the technology of the human body, how to access it, how to use it, how to fully utilize the laws of attraction to bend the matrix to your will and create the reality that you and your family deserve. Make sure you click the link ASAP in the caption of this video or in my bio and sign up on Eventbrite ASAP because space is limited. I want to see you there. Be ready for an explosive 2023. Peace.